Hey guys, what's up? Darcy here at Six Strings Nine Lives, back for a CD vinyl update. So today is Thursday, October 12th. Only one more sleep until the brand new track from Judas Priest gets released called Panic Attack. I'm super pumped. I'm a very early riser anyways, 5 a.m. type of thing. Might even go for 4 a.m. tomorrow. I am just really looking forward to hearing the track. If you watched my Judas Priest video where I named my favorite track from each album, I was trying to predict when this album might come out, and I did say the first quarter of 2024, so I was definitely in the ballpark. March 8th release for Invincible Shield. I see the pre-orders are up on Amazon Canada if you're interested. $47.59 for the vinyl. That's a double vinyl. Pretty much seems to be the going rate nowadays. And the CD, just the regular CD, opposed to the deluxe one with the bonus tracks. The regular CD is $18.89 pre-order price. So, you know, not the best prices, but not the worst either. But those are up if you are interested. Also, I'm listening to Sodom, one of my favorite Sodom, modern day Sodom albums, Decision Day. That's an original copy, but there is a reissue coming out December 8th if you're interested. One of my favorites of the German Big Four of thrash for sure. You know, they're just right behind Creator for me. Love Sodom. Fabulous artwork there too. Check out Decision Day if you'd like. But in the meantime, I don't know, it's been a while since I've done an update. I kind of piled up a few things, my usual 10 or 11 things, but yeah, let me know in the comments if you happen to watch this video before or after you get to hear the new song, if you're even interested in Judas Priest. I know there's, fans that are, not as happy that, is there any original guitar players left, things like that. I get it, but is my favorite band since 1982, so I'm definitely super pumped for it. But let's get into what I do have, which is definitely Judas Priest related to start off with. This is the second album from KK's Priest, which you know exactly who KK Downing is. I'm not in the camp where I'm, no KK, no Glenn, no Judas Priest. I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't know what Glenn's input into the album is. I mean, only really the band would really know. But, on the strength of firepower, to me, I'm really looking forward to this new album from Judas Priest. And also, I might as well just throw it in there. Judas Priest have a real knack of not putting out the same albums all the time. If you really look at their catalog, you got a really good mix in there, a few surprises. Even the title of the new album, actually, Invincible Shield, I was like, you know what? That's fucking cool. I thought that is awesome. The album cover, not the greatest, but I love the colors on it. Very cool. As this, I love the colors here too. So let's get back to this. KK's Priest, The Sinner Rides Again. Definitely a few recycled song titles in here again, but this is a great album. I was looking back on my 2021 list when this album came out. Sermons of the Sinner, KK's first album. And that actually was my third favorite album of 2021. This one, I'm going to tell you what, it's a better album than Sermons of the Sinner. The production is much better, especially if you listen to these back to back and listen to the drum sound. You got a much better drum sound on here. I believe there's almost no filler on this album. I pretty much love every song, which we'll talk about a little bit. But yeah, definitely that drum sound is really, really prominent. Tim Ripper Owens sounds fantastic on here. I was thinking about this. These two albums pretty much should have been what we should have had in 1997 and 2001. They should have been the Priest albums we were looking for, because Tim Ripper Owens on this album sounds incredible. The screams, the highs. Yeah, you got the metal cliche lyrics, things like that, or some recycled song titles, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's awesome. Sons of the Sentinel leads off this album, and it's actually, as far as heavy goes, it is a notch up on Sermons of the Sinner in my books. Sons of the Sentinel, great lead-off track. It's like, it's painkiller territory as far as speed and just heaviness, the screams, great solos, and just that typical, if you look back at any of the songs that KK wrote, these fit. Like Strike of the Viper, another one of my favorite tracks on this album. Reap the Whirlwind, great song too. Here's another one more shot at glory, I believe was the first single on this album, and I wasn't totally blown away at that song, but it really fits in the album. If you actually flip over to the B-side, The Sinner Rides Again, which is the title of the album, man, I can hear some even almost like Sad Wings of Destiny era Priest, Beyond the Realms of Death type of guitar riff, and really cool. Wash Away Your Sins. So whether the animosity level has just stepped right up on Priest, and also throwing this in here, this new Priest album, 5 months ahead of time, pre-orders, lead-off single. I mean, it's almost ridiculous, but I hope it's not a direct shot at KK. I mean, give the guy a chance to get his album and out there, and because it really is a fantastic album. Check it out. But comparable lyrics, there's a song on this one called Wash Away Your Sins. Now let me read you a little bit of the lyrics. It says, "You cut the head off the demon, wiping the blood from your face." Now if that sounds familiar, go to Firepower and listen to Lightning Strike. "I'll bring you the head of the demon. I'm peeling the skin from his face." I mean, have you ever heard of the saying interchangeable lyrics? There is a lot of interchangeable lyrics on here, but it's still, you know what? I love it. It sounds great. But if you know what I mean as far as that goes, let me stop babbling on about this album. But the back cover, which actually, this is released on Napalm Records, Hellfire Thunderbolt Records, that must be KK's, but I was looking at the back of Sermons of the Sinner, and we pretty much got the same pattern here. So this is the exact same type of layout on the back, all this little flowery shit or whatever this is, but it's almost like an old photo. So yeah, if you have both of these albums, check out the backs. They are identical except colors and the pictures. Actually, there is no band shown on the back of The Sinner Rides Again, but gatefold opens up to some really cool pictures and again, some of those, whether there's some cheese in the lyrics, like I said, I don't give a shit. It sounds awesome. And this inner sleeve is really cool. I like that they have Ripper in the middle here, just a true, the vocalist in the middle, there's KK. And I think this band is really gelled as far as, songs and everything. And there is the mascot. We'll probably see this guy on every cover, but some nice artwork, which is the same artist that did the artwork for Sermons of the Sinner, did a good job on this one too. I think his name is Andy something or other, but here is the vinyl. There's the centering on that one. And yeah, I really, really enjoy this album. But versus 2021, which was, honestly, it was kind of a down year. And 2023 is definitely going to have some more competition. So even though this is a better album, I don't know. It's got some stiff competition ahead. If you watched any of my videos, I'm not going to give too much away because the year end is coming quickly. All right, let's zip through a couple more. Now, these two I did a double review on, Primal Fear and U.D.O, so I'll just kind of show you again. 14th studio album from Primal Fear. I'm still listening to this album. So if you do want to go check out my double review on this, Primal Fear, some more great German metal. This one was released on Atomic Fire. And Ralph Scheepers and Matt Sinner in the gang. There's Matt there. Hope you're doing well, Matt Sinner. I would love to be able to catch you guys, and hope you can get to Canada. Touring with U.D.O, so that's pretty cool. Like I said, 14th studio album. If you have not picked that one up, it is really a great album. And the other part of that double review was one of my favorite metal guys of all, Udo Dirkschneider with his band U.D.O. This is their 18th studio album called Touchdown. I did pick up the vinyl. I showed the CD in that video, but here is definitely a you know, kind of an American NFL whatever style cover and layout in the middle. Whoops. We'll show you that in a second. There's the back. 70. Actually, I think Udo actually turned 72, 71 or 72, one or the other. But pretty cool album. I really was excited for this one because we have Peter Baltes, original bass player for Accept, has now joined U.D.O. Fantastic. And you can, like I said in that video, the backing vocals fantastic from Peter, and his bass playing is top notch. Didn't have a lot to contribute in the songwriting department, but hopefully that changes on the next album, because I think this album was pretty much ready to go before Peter joined the band. And pretty cool inner or a little 2-pager in here. All the lyrics are here, and then we got kind of like a football card type of photos on the back. Definitely another former Accept member is involved in this, and the mixing and mastering, Stefan Kaufman, which if you know the band, you'll know who Stefan is. And this one was also released on Atomic Fire. So this came double vinyl. I'll just show you one, and it is, I got the hype sticker right here. Did it say a limited edition? Yeah, sure. Everything's limited these days. You better buy it all now or you'll never get it. So yeah, right. Anyways, this one is clear blue white splatter vinyl. Looking pretty good. This is the one that I ordered through, where did I get this one? Through Amazon or whatever. So I don't care. As long as I get a copy, I don't need, you know, multiple editions. Sometimes if I get black vinyl, I'm more than happy to. But like I said, whatever comes, I'm happy with. But check out my review if you want to know a little bit more about that album. Let's keep plugging away here. We got that one. One more. Do we have one more new release? Yes, I got one more new release to show you. So back in the day, if you, like I mentioned over and over in my videos, I wasn't a huge death metal guy. I do now, over the past 5 or 6 years, come to really love bands like Obituary, you know, Death, love Chuck and all the work that Chuck did. And I do like just simple death metal. I don't, you know, I don't stray, you know, too far there or too far over here. But here's a band that I wasn't keen on in the beginning. I actually, years ago, I thought they were a bit of a joke band. But I've added, now this will be my 4th album to my collection. And I'll pick up some more as maybe they're reissued type of thing. I don't want to go out and buy a whole bunch of Cannibal Corpse at one time, because then it just all blends together and it's one big blob of shit. I don't mean it's shitty, but you know what I mean. It just, I want things to make sense and each album to stand on its own. But I did pick up their 16th studio album called Chaos Horrific. Pretty dark cover there, but typical artwork for Cannibal Corpse. So this is the 12th album with George Corpse Grinder Fisher, who I prefer on vocals. Some of you, you know, old school, been there in the beginning type of Cannibal Corpse fans, you know what? I totally get it. I totally understand. I don't have that personal experience with Cannibal Corpse, but this is a really just another solid album. And in a way, you do know what you're getting. You know what you're getting for lyrical content covers. But you know what? In the 4 albums I do have, there's just enough, you know, just enough there to keep me interested. And I really enjoy this one. Let me know if you are a Cannibal Corpse fan, let me know if you picked up this album. So this one is on, let me just show you the Metal Blade. One of my favorite labels. They do a heck of a job. Some great tracks that I enjoy is actually the lead-off track, Overlords of Violence. The first single was, what was it? Blood Blind. I really enjoyed that one. Then we had Summoned for Sacrifice. But one of my favorite tracks on here is the closer. It's called Drain You Empty. Check that one out. But let me show you this vinyl. It is called Charred Remains, and it's pretty neat. Originally, when I picked it out to pre-order, I thought it was going to be a lot darker than it was, but here it is. It's a little more, transparent. I thought it would be a little bit darker, but pretty cool. Centering's the same on both sides. This one came with a download card, so if anybody's, here is the download card. If you're interested, somebody just grab that, pause it, take it, see what you think of it. Maybe it's not for you, maybe it is, but there is a copy, a digital copy that I don't need. And the inner, again, another 2-page booklet. I know on their last album, the booklet was intense. This one's a little more scaled back, but some cool photos, let's put it that way. You get that with, and what do we got? So all the lyrics, who wrote each song. So basically in this band, everybody but George, George doesn't even do any of the lyrics or anything. He just comes in and does his vocals, does his job, and he does a heck of a job. But now that we have Eric Rutan in this band for this second album, definitely more contribution on this one, on this album than the last. Solos are great. This is, it's just crushing Cannibal Corpse. You know what? And when I'm feeling, a little more on the heavy side, I do like to enjoy some Cannibal Corpse. Mostly when my wife's not home type of thing. That's kind of wife not home music. Let's call it that. Okay, I picked up some pretty cool reissues, but yeah, let's show you these. Here's a band that I do enjoy. Just haven't shown them much. No particular reason, to be honest with you. But when I saw these come up, I ordered, where did I order these from? High Roller Records, but they are from Floga or Flogo, or I think it's Floga Records, but I got 2 reissues of the 4th and 5th Iced Earth albums. This is Dark Saga. Originally released in 1996, Matt Barlow on vocals. You got kind of a comic book inspired cover. I think that is, I'm not a big comic book guy, but that is Spawn, I believe. And this story is, I don't know if it's totally a concept album. Let me know in the comments, but just a great album. Very, very good. And actually, did this one, I don't know if this one was 90. Yeah, definitely. This one did come out in 96 to begin with. Just a really good album. Check out I Died For You. Great song. The title track, Dark Saga, or just Dark Saga. What else? Vengeance Is Mine. A Question of Heaven, the last track, superb. I think it's that one, if I remember correctly, is quite a longer one, probably about 8 minutes type of thing. Pretty cool. Let me open this up. But if you've ever got anything from Floga Records, man, they do a good job. This is probably about my, I don't know, maybe 3rd or 4th from them. And this vinyl is, what do they call this vinyl? It's kind of, actually, I don't know what the name, it doesn't matter what the name is, but it's kind of or is it some kind of beer blend type of thing? So there is that, and the center rings are the same on both sides, but really solid album. And I also picked up their 5th studio album, Something Wicked This Way Comes. So this is originally released in 1998. This honestly is just a heavy album. This is probably one of their, maybe even their heaviest album as far as I know, or let me know in the comments if you're a fan of the band. But this is just crushing from start to finish. A good mix. There's even thrashy elements in here, US power metal. That's kind of where I put them, but they're just metal. They even have like Iron Maiden epic elements. I'm not saying they're exactly like Iron Maiden, but if you know the band, you'll know what I mean. But anyways, another great reissue. This one came on, actually, did this one come? Yeah, 2 vinyl. Here's the back on this one. Something Wicked This Way Comes. And there is, I don't know if that's an alternate cover in the middle, but there's all the lyrics. Very glossy on these Flogga reissues, but great album. If you've not checked out any Iced Earth, or if you just passed them by, I could highly recommend this album as a starting point. Kind of a similar, but in I don't know whether lime beer or something, who knows, but there is the vinyl on this one. If I would have saw black vinyl, I would have picked it up too, but regardless, this sounds really good. And definitely check out, oh, I forgot to tell you a couple of tracks here. Whoops. Burning Times. Holy shit, that is a way to start off an album. Check that out. Melancholy, Holy Martyr, great track. Disciples of the Lie, probably one of the heaviest tracks on this album. But this one, pretty much, it doesn't let off much throughout the whole album, but the first 3 tracks are, if you're not hooked after that, you just won't be. But yeah, there it is. Double vinyl. They're both the same. They kind of look the same. And I had mentioned I picked up a third Flogga Records. Now, this is a Canadian thrash. I used to have this on cassette way back in the day, and it was on Metal Blade Records. And this album is licensed exclusively through Metal Blade Records. You know, they'll do that once in a while. You know, maybe it's not a high priority thing for Metal Blade, so they'll license it out. And that is Sacrifice's, what would this be, their 4th album, Apocalypse Inside. Kind of a crazy ass cover, but it's actually neat and crazy ass all at the same time. So Canadian, this is Canadian thrash, part of the big 4 of Canadian thrash. You know, if you throw in Voivod, Annihilator, Razor, actually, even Dave Carlo co-produced. Dave Carlo is from Razor. He co-produced this with Sacrifice. Now, if you haven't heard much from Sacrifice and you want to check out their best stuff, I would recommend to you an album called Forward to Termination from 1987. If you're enjoying that one, you'll probably like this one too. For some people that I do know, you know, some people, maybe you live in a different country, you never heard of Sacrifice or Razor, you don't have that firsthand experience with them, you don't have that, you know, listening to them back in the day feeling type of thing. The vocals, they probably get, that might be your, you know, part of the hurdle, let's say. The vocals are, you know, a little different, and but if you like the vocals, then they're probably in. But I do, and like I said, I got a bit of a history with these guys. They don't have a big catalog, but man, check out Forward to Termination, or their 3rd album, Soldiers of Misfortune, which was recently reissued on High Roller Records, if you want to check that one out, and this one on Flogga Records. This is just on black vinyl. No, just sounds really good. And there is the centering, same on both sides. Happy I picked that one up too. The only Sacrifice album I don't own is kind of their comeback album from, I think it, what year would have been? 2007, 2009-ish, in there, that period. Let me know if you're a fan of the band, if that's something I should still look out for. But definitely, you know, their first 4 albums are worth checking out. What do we got here left? Let me check my... Okay, this was sent to me by a good friend of mine. It was very hard to find. I did not own it. There was a stopping point for me with the band Dokken, and I am a huge fan of those first, not so much their first album, but the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Dokken album. Just top notch for me. And after that, I lost sight, but been trying to pick up a few, but a good friend of mine sent me their album from 2008 called Lightning Strikes Again. This is a very, very good album. I am glad I was able to get a copy through my buddy sent this my way. Frontiers Records, so not easy to find after a while either. Kind of got, you know, a little bit of a fire lit under my ass when the new Dokken album was announced, which is coming out October 27th, called Heaven Comes Down. And so far from what I've heard of that, I'm totally impressed and ready for it. So yeah, pretty cool to have this one. Also looking for the album from 2012 called Broken Bones. I'm definitely going to pick that one up as soon as I find a nice used copy on CD. And yeah, 11 years, we got a brand new Dokken. That's cool. And another one I picked up, you know what? You probably know that I'm a Van Halen fan. I'm a David Lee Roth fan. I always thought through these years that Eat 'Em and Smile was my favorite David Lee Roth album because I kind of forgot how good the third album was. I had it on cassette years ago, and but I picked up the third album from David Lee Roth called A Little Ain't Enough, featuring not Steve Vai on guitar, Jason Becker. You know, I know he's had a tough go of things, and I wish him, you know, I wish him, you know, I wish that didn't happen to him. That is what I'm trying to say. But what a fantastic guitar player, and what a killer album this is. A Little Ain't Enough. I do have the first two David Lee Roth albums on, excuse me, on vinyl. I'd love to see this one come out. But if you've, you know, if David Lee Roth solo stuff has passed you by, but I highly recommend this one. A Little Ain't Enough. The title track is what I'm trying to say. But my favorite track on here is called Lady Luck. Go check that one out. Pretty cool. And another one of my favorite tracks on here is called Last Call. Yeah. So this came out, what is it, 1991? Yeah, I think 1991, produced by Bob Rock too. So got the old Bob Rock Vancouver connection. And to wrap this one up, I got a couple of Metal Church live albums. So this is live. This is with David Wayne on vocals. I've been meaning to pick this up for a long time. And I flip this over, and this is the exact set list minus Highway Star. So if you want to look at all that, this is the exact set list that they played when they opened up for Metallica in December of 1996 when I saw them. And this is not overly touched up live, but this is live like it should sound. This is a High Roller reissue. And let me just show you the vinyl. And High Roller does a great job. There's no inner in there. It almost has like an Elektra logo feel, definitely, don't you think, with the black and red. But yeah, if you know Metal Church, you know the band, definitely check out Metal Church live. Literally from that tour, like it had to be, or that exact time period, because I looked back and it is the exact set list, like I said, minus Highway, the cover of Highway Star. And here's the last one of the day. This is Metal Church Classics Live. So this is from the era of, let's see, this would be after Mike came back. So let me see if the track's on here. I don't think there's any new, no friend of mine. No, there's no, I don't think there's any tracks on here from the XI album. This one is not as good. I'll tell you, it's a little more raw sounding than the one I just showed you. But Mike does sound good, but just not as good as that David Wayne live era, or sorry, like 86 type of era. This is probably filmed, or probably, let me see if I actually have a date on when this was. I don't know, I really can't tell from here, but the track listing though, It's got some tracks from the first two Metal Church albums. You got songs like Beyond the Black, Start the Fire, but then you got some really cool tracks from like Gods of a Second Chance, from Hanging in the Balance. That is a great song. A couple of awesome songs from Human Factor, which the title track, and In Mourning, Watch the Children Pray. Start the Fire, you know, definitely in my books not as good as the David Wayne version. I mean, that's one of my favorites overall, but yeah, pick this one up. This is a Reaper Entertainment reissue. Here is the inner, which is basically just the band logo on both sides. And let's show you this on here. And what's going on this cover, no idea. It's actually not a great cover. It's kind of shitty in my books, but I'm a big Metal Church fan, so I had to add this one to the collection. But if I had to flip a coin of which live Metal Church that I would take, definitely that David Wayne era has a better sound. And yeah, just those first two Metal Church albums are top notch in my books, always have been and always will be. I think that is it for today. So here, oh, actually, there's the hype sticker for that one I showed you, Metal Church Live. Excuse me. So yeah, got a couple of things coming up for sure. Got a couple of ideas for videos. Just got to get my arse moving and not be away too long. But hope you enjoyed that one. Until next time, stay heavy.